Hi, this is Robert Gephardt again, and this video is part 2 of useful links and websites for translators. You can see part 1, I'll have a link in the description where I talk about probably the first links you should check out as a freelance translator, but this is a continuation of some useful links because there are quite a few, so I had to divide it into 2 parts. So along those lines, let's get started. First of all, these next links are going to be basically translation associations that you can join or think of joining if you wish. The first one that you hear about a lot, especially if you deal in an English language or if you live in the States obviously, is the American Translators Association. This I find useful if you're first starting out. So if you are just starting out as a freelance translator and you can pay for the membership there and you can get your own link to your profile there, then it's great. You can add that to your resume, to your profile, on all the pages, on LinkedIn and all that stuff. And so I was a member and I found it useful for this. But quite frankly, after that, I didn't get much use for it at all. I know they have a yearly meeting, but as far as I can tell, you don't get too much else from it. And so now I don't think I pay for membership anymore. And so anyway, but you can evaluate yourself because that's just paid membership. You can also get certified by them if you actually take their test in your language combination. And so that could open up new doors in itself. And in fact, if you're certified by the ATA, a lot of organizations who know about the ATA do really take that seriously. So you can keep that in mind. Anyway, that's the American Translator Association. The next one, which I'm not a member of and I've never have been, but I've heard quite a bit about, is the National Association of Judiciary Interpreters and Translators. It's NAJIT or NAJIT.org. And this I've heard from quite a few people that it can be useful because they have a yearly meeting where I heard it's great for contacts and stuff like that. And they also have a good network, let's say, of contacts and of translators and interpreters. And so if you deal with legal translations or along those lines, you deal with courts at all or legal firms or anything along those lines, then it might be worth looking into this and seeing about joining membership or joining one of their conferences or something along those lines. Again, I've never done it, but I have contacts who have and have said that it is quite useful. That also is an American association. Now, in terms of international associations, the only one that I've heard with some regularity, let's say, is it's called the International Federation of Translators, but the website is fit-ift.org. So once again, all the links to all of these are down in the description, so you can just click on them from there, which is easier. But anyway, here the International Federation of Translators is European, I believe, but it also, first of all, I think only translation associations can join, or agencies. You need a minimum of either 10 or 20 people working in your organization to join. Now, you can do this by getting a group of translators and then joining if you wish, but you'll have to evaluate yourself. Now, it seems like they deal with a lot of government organizations, non-governmental organizations like NGOs. They deal with, I think, the UN and stuff like that. So if your translations have more to do with stuff like this, then by all means, look them up and check them out. Now, let's move on. The next group of links will be links for rating companies and seeing how these companies are rated by other people. The first one and the main one to know and to bookmark, I'd say, is pros.com/blueboard. The Blueboard is a great place to look up a company. Anytime you're hired by a new company, look them up on the Blueboard and see how they're rated by other translators. You can see the rating by a number and you can see the comments they leave. And that gives you an idea as to whether these guys are legit, if they pay you one time, if you'll get a lot of flack from them, or if they're easy to work with, etc., etc. So pros.com, Blueboard, definitely check that one out. But then there are quite a few other ones. The Translators Cafe has one which has quite a complicated URL. So once again, you'll find the link here. But it also has quite a bit of information. And so I find it useful almost as much as a Blueboard. And so it's something I would definitely access if you have a new client and if you want to look them up or if you want further information. There's another one that I've come across as well called from Translation Directory, which is translation directory/non-payers.htm, which like the name would suggest, talks about non-payers. When I accessed it, it was for paying members only. I'm not sure if that's changed now, but as I mentioned in the other video, Translation Directory seems to have a lot of information, but most of it's for paying members. I did pay once upon a time, but I didn't get many jobs from it, so I've stopped paying since then. But evaluate for yourself and see, because it would be useful to have a list of agencies who don't pay you. Now, the next group of URLs will be the forums, or places where you can discuss freely about anything you want with other translators. Now, the first one of these is translationdirectory.com/forum. Now, this forum is free for all translators, and so you don't have to pay to access this forum. I know this for a fact. And so it's a great place to find, again, free discussion, talking about agencies or about tips and tricks, or people with questions, or people looking for stuff. Anyway, this is a good place. The other ones, again, it's the main websites. Pros.com and Translators Cafe have their own websites. Translators Cafe, once again, it's a complicated URL, so I'll have the link, but you find great discussion there, as you do on pros.com, which is it's pros.com/forum. And for both of these, I explained this in the other video, pros.com and Translators Cafe are probably the main websites you should access in general for any of this stuff. The main difference, because they're both kind of difficult to navigate, the main difference I think is Translators Cafe is more of a community and it has that more community feel, while pros.com is more of a business. But that also means that they treat it seriously. And so they're both useful. I have found more use in general from pros than Translators Cafe, but I've definitely gotten benefits from both of them. So I recommend both of them. And that goes for finding jobs, for general discussion, and for forums, stuff like this. Anyway, moving right along. The next websites that I recommend are actually for setting up your own website. And I've gotten into detail about this in other videos. I think everyone as a freelance translator, since you're out there on the internet and you need something to show people, you can't hand out your business card to everyone because you don't meet them physically. So your website, your presence online becomes kind of like your business card. And so I think it's very useful to basically take care of your online persona. So anyway, having said that, for setting up a website, and again, I've mentioned this before, my favorite is about.me, because about.me, you get to set up your own personalized URL. Mine is about.me/Robert Gephardt, and it's like your personal webpage. You can put all your information and links and all that good stuff, and it's free. And so to me, it's a great place to have your online persona and without having to go through the hassle of setting up your own website and all that stuff. However, having said that, if you do want to set up your own website or have more of a blog, or do different things and personalize it a bit more, there are some good websites to do that. I recommend, WordPress.com. WordPress.com is different from WordPress.org, by the way. WordPress.com is free, but the URL you get is WordPress.com/something. WordPress.org you have to pay for, but you can use your own domain name. If you have yourname.com, then you can have the WordPress.org work with that, and so you can create your own website. So it depends what you're looking for. Other ones are blogspot.com, which is run by Google, and that's great for a blogging format if that's what you're interested in, and tumblr.com, which most people know, and again, it's more like a blog, and it depends the field that you want to go for and what you're looking for, but I think all of these are great places to build your own website, and a lot of them have built-in SEO, if you will. And so especially like about.me, blog, like stuff where it's not totally personalized, but you can benefit from their own platform. You can also benefit from their SEO, so people can find you. So that's about it for websites. And lastly is something along the same lines of just getting your name out there and catering your own online persona, and that's social networking, which I think should be taken seriously. The first one is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is basically the professional type of social network, so I think it's very important for anyone who's in translation to have a LinkedIn account and to take care of it, to make sure it looks decent. A lot of people, when they first make contact with you, they're going to do a Google search for you, and so if your LinkedIn account comes up and you look decent in that, then that's a big win already right there. So have a LinkedIn account and make sure it's decent, I'd say. Clear, concise, shows what it needs to show. And then I would also recommend having other stuff. Facebook, Twitter, why not? Other places people can find you. The more places there are, the better, right? And so if you have Facebook and you don't mind keeping it open so people can find you there, by all means do that. And same with Twitter, if you're into that, or Instagram or stuff like that. And so just don't neglect these in terms of translation, because they can always be useful. Wherever you can be found, you never know. Nothing's guaranteed, but on the other hand, you never know. And the last one that I like is ifttt.com. And what this does is, if you are using social networks, and if you start using them quite a bit just to have updates about translation or talk about it or et cetera, it allows you to automatically update another account. So say every time I update my LinkedIn account with a new blog post about translation, or even if I update my blog with a new blog post about translation, this IFTTT will automatically send it to LinkedIn. So right away another post comes up on LinkedIn, it'll automatically send it to Twitter. So Twitter will have it with a link to the blog post. It can send it to Facebook too, to all this stuff. So basically what this does is it streamlines the whole process. So you only have to do things once. And you can pick your platform, say it's the blogging platform or something like that. And every time you enter a new blog or post a new picture or something, it'll automatically go to all the other accounts that you wish it to go to. And so if you do end up using blogging or social networks in general, definitely look into this, ifttt.com. It stands for if this, then that. Basically, if you post something on your blog, then that other thing happens. And I found it very useful, so I do recommend it. And that's about it for the links that I have. If you have any other ones, feel free to let me know. Once again, my full-time job is being a translator, not making these videos. So these are just ones that I've come across from my day-to-day work. And I found them useful, some more than others. And so I just thought I'd list them here and let you know. But if you have any other experience, feel free to let me know. If you're interested in more videos like this, then feel free to subscribe. It's free, so why not? And there'll be more videos about translation, about freelance work in general, and freelance translation, etc., etc. So, till next time, bye.